Hello, my name is Nathan.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Ray.
And I'm Mai.
And this our discussion post number 9. And our first question was about deportation. Think about how deportation works in each of the 3 films. Set in tone by Adam Crasper Halmani, who is being deported and for what reason? How does the concept or act of deportation reveal who can and cannot become American? Make references back to the book to support your points and discuss memorable scenes and lines in details.
Well, to answer the first question of who is being deported, it's Cambodian refugees and Korean adoptees that are the significant deportees that show up in a lot of the readings and media videos, something like that.
For Sense Home, the main reason had to do with like criminal activity, even though it doesn't matter when they did it. I'm pretty sure most of them, or all the people that it covered, they all had some sort of criminal background. With Adam Crasper, his issue was that his first adopted parents, they didn't sign a certain document that would grant him citizenship. And then Halmoni, I'm a little confused. I know I don't remember the reason why Halmoni had to go back.
It didn't really, I couldn't see where it is. I just know that for that significant reason, his mom and sister couldn't go back to
Korea.
I think he called it advanced protection. I'm not sure why.
Why did Chuhung had to go back though? I forgot why. He was an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, he wasn't an undocumented immigrant.
Oh, okay.
And he was trying to. What was funny was he was trying to apply for a green card, but then they looked back him applying for the green card caused them to say hey, you're undocumented. We need a background check on you. And then they realized they found his criminal records, and they told him oh, well, since you have this record and you're an undocumented immigrant, then we gotta deport you and put you back in Korea, even if you lived here for a long time or something like that.
Yeah.
I think one of the concepts of the deportation is mostly about the background check. I think that's very significant in a way where when immigrants come to America, they don't know what type of what the film was showing, criminal activities that they were doing, how they will handle being America, because they're much different compared to the Americans that live in the US. I think that's one of the main concepts of deportation.
I remember one of the, sorry, Joseph, you can go ahead.
Also, going off of that, how when they come here, they're not sure of the laws. Obviously, drunk driving is bad, but I think in the reading it said that drunk driving is counted for the aggravated felony, and they might know that, but they don't know that. I forgot the limit is 0.08 for the what's it called, the load test. So they might be, I don't know if you guys get me. They're how can I put this? They might take a drink, but they're not going to be drunk. They would pass 0.08.
Oh,
yeah. Limit.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, you're good. I was gonna mention how one of the, I forgot what her exact title was, but she worked in immigration, and she explained how for those people, they were, I think Congress said, hey, we're gonna give you these rights, but if you don't follow the same, and you're expected to follow the same laws as the people who get it for free. And if you can't do that, then she said that they can take it away.
But yeah, I remember that line.
Yeah, so maybe being like, I think just having those rights is, well, I think if you can't follow the laws set by Congress, then I guess in that sense, that determines if you can or can't be American. If you follow the law and do everything that Congress asks of you, then you can be American. But if you don't, you get deported and sent back. Like even if you did it, even if you had criminal activity like 9 years ago, which I think was the case for like most of them, or at least in the first film.
That was sad. He like had
Yeah.
a wife elected after that.
Oh,
And
I forgot his name. It's Leon Loon, whatever. Leon
Yeah,
Loon.
that dude.
Yeah, he had 2 kids, 2 young daughters, and then his wife. Now he has to be sent back to Cambodia, I believe.
And then when he was in Cambodia, like they didn't want him to work, didn't know how to do anything. So he was just like,
I'm glad he had family though. At least he had like a grandma to like go to.
Mhm.
But yeah, like what Joseph was mentioning, like how like they didn't even want him to like help them. That was sad. And like he like all he wants is to be useful really. But like
Yeah,
since he doesn't understand the culture, he can't really help. And that's like really tough, especially when you're like his age. Because like as a kid, you're like those are like the highest stages of learning and growing up. So yeah, it's a tough world, especially like going into a foreign environment. Sorry if I like muted myself. There's like construction going on in my house and it's really annoying.
no, you're good.
you're good. I don't hear anything right now.
Right now, that's why.
Speaking of like how upset you said Maya about being a tough road. Do you guys remember that scene where like when Loan just like right when he gets into Cambodia, he's just walking and he almost gets hit by a motorcycle and he's like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
what the hell?
I know, that was so sad.
I was like, damn. Like dude he doesn't understand.
Oh yes.
And then
There's
people would just
even
like look at
different
him.
like, oh sorry, Ray, what was you saying?
And people would just like just look at him, just be like, come on, bro. You gotta get with the program here. That I was like, that was tough. I was like, damn.
Yeah, like even the traffic is like different over like in specific countries and all the cultures and stuff. So like there's a lot of things.
Yeah, the king member too. He experienced a lot of culture. I forgot what he said. Like, he was like, if you're not banging, you're not hanging. So I guess he's kind of born into that because he's isolate himself in his hometown.
Oh, Kim Homa.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. And then in the reading,
Was that the dude that wore the beanie?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we've answered like how does the concept or act of deportation reveal who can and cannot become American? Did we answer that really?
I think Ray
I-
had it.
I
think
mentioned how the laws that like Americans are like expected to follow, if you follow them, then you can become American, but if you don't, you can't.
Okay, second question. Based on your observation in keyword media, name 1 or 2 dominant stereotypes of Asian American in US Western media, news, film, pop culture, celebrity culture. Share at least 1 concrete example. As share images or clips. How does keyword media support your observation? How might these contemporary stereotypes be rooted in the history of Asian Americans that we learned through the semester since week 1?
well, first off, there's like the most prominent ones are like in the in the video about like Asian Americans and media, I think it might have been her the professor's lecture video. She was talking about how like Asian parts, or sorry, Asian roles in films are given to non-Asian actors instead of like real Asian actors, and how she like brought up like pictures of like white people wearing makeup that like look Asian, and like that one actor who was like wearing a full-on mask, I think that was like really creepy. But I think the other stereotype is that in the history of Asian representation films, like I think the interviewer Nancy Wong, sorry, she was talking about how like the Asian woman's body is like portrayed as available for the white man to plunder, and like they only have like prostitute roles. And yeah, that was it. Like just inaccurate Asian American representation, and like sexualizing the culture too. That's 2 points. Sorry, I like answered that, but I don't like really have I don't have an example to share. That's why.
I think that's all right.
Came
I'm
up
trying
with
to think of
two.
one.
Oh shit.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna say anything.
So for my first example, I thought about I don't know if you guys watch Marvel movies. I thought about Doctor Strange and Wong. How Wong is in the
Oh
reading
yeah.
this.
Oh,
Yeah. But he's not really like he's like more of a mentor, but either way, he's still,
Yeah. And then we just had Shang-Chi,
yeah, that too.
which was
And
really
then in Eternals, I don't know if you guys watched that. Did you guys watch that?
haven't yet.
no.
Plan to.
That oh um I don't want to spoil it. Never mind.
Was it Gilgamesh? That dude. I think that dude looks really familiar, I think.
No, it was about I don't it's not really spoiling, but in okay, so Cersei's like the main character, and I guess it's like the first main Asian female character in a Marvel movie. And she's the first one to have like a scene dealing with and that has to do with like
Oh,
what May said.
was she in Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah, Gemma Chan.
Was she the one with okay, this is have you guys do you I need to ask if this is the right person. Is it the one
It's the
who had a
rich cousin.
kid?
Oh, they're all rich.
Yeah, but like she had the son, right?
Yeah,
But her husband was kind of
yeah, it's her.
oh, okay.
But I thought that was because it's like Marvel's owned by Disney, and they're like preach kid friendly, and then having her being the first one to have a like a scene like that in the movie.
Yeah, well, but
Getting it.
Disney wasn't always kid friendly. I think like in the past they had. I think a good example. I don't know if it's. I think it's old Disney. I want to say it's like when Fantasia
Disney
was out.
Studios, something like
Yeah.
that.
It was like when Fantasia. It gives me Fantasia vibes. I don't know if it's exactly from that, but they had a. It was the two Siamese cats, and they're
Sorry.
right, and I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure it's supposed to like portray Asians because it was like slanted eyes, and I think that Siamese cats.
There's the music too. Like it was really like.
It was like generic Asian music,
Mhm.
and then yeah. One example I was thinking about, I feel like a good source to find like stereotypes of any group would probably be South Park, just because
Of course,
it's
does not
not
care.
they don't care, but at least they target everyone and not a specific group. But there was a clip where it's the Chinese guy and the Japanese guy, and they're at the elementary school, and they're giving a presentation on Asian diversity, and their character designs are just you know, I think the Chinese guy has slanted eyes, and they both have very broken English.
Oh, like exaggerated.
Yeah, they're very exaggerated stereotypes. Uh, and then they kind of go into like the history of everything, which is kind of weird, but yeah. And then I think the first thing that came to my mind was you ever seen Rush Hour?
Yeah.
One of the
Or Jackie
stereotypes I
Chan.
thought, yeah, one of the stereotypes I was thinking about was like, it was like all Asians look the same. And there's a scene in Rush Hour 2 where Chris Tucker, I think that's his name, he punches Jackie Chan and he's like, sorry man, all y'all look alike.
Mm.
I was like, so
It's like satire right there.
There was
yeah.
also a scene. I think it's a movie where they like choose like from a bunch of like Asian women.
Oh yeah, that's the same movie.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
that
right
could be
before
one too.
that.
Mhm.
Oh, I guess that tie into what you said, Mai, about how that especially women, like their bodies get sexualized and stuff.
Yeah, I actually had an example for that. Like the only thing I could think about, I don't know if you guys played Mortal Kombat, but there's this game where like it's just like a fighters game and all the female like characters, actually just specifically the Asian female characters are like designed to just be sexy, all like just like wear sexy stuff, and like I don't see them wearing pants. And like it was funny because the white female characters actually wore pants and like all the cool combat gear. They were still like a little sexy with the boobies and stuff, but like, oh my gosh, the Asian female characters were just flat out just like the Lotus Dragon ladies that that we were or that were mentioned in like the lectures, like, oh, they're always represented as like exotic sex objects or something like that. Sorry, but that was like my example. That was like kept
No, that was
running.
good. I totally forgot. That totally slipped my mind. Yeah, that's a good example. Mortal Kombat. I think it's gotten better over the years. I think
Yeah, it did. It was just funny. Like I was just like,
I think I know which one you're talking about because I remember
I think it was like 10, I think.
it might have been. I never played it though, but I've seen it, and I think it was 10. Yeah, you're right. But now I think now it's a lot better because like they're
Yeah,
not
it's
as.
improved. Because like I've seen the movie and it's not that bad.
Oh yeah, they had a movie. That's right. I forgot.
HBO Max.
There's two movies. There's one in like I forgot, it's like the oldest and older
Old
one,
one, yeah.
which is really
Really?
funny to watch because it's so goofy. It's funny. And then they had this last one, which is I never watched it, but I heard it's all right.
Oh, did we answer how might these contemporary stereotypes be rooted in the history of Asian Americans that we've learned throughout the semester since week 1? Again,
Sorry.
Stereotype. Oh, they mentioned how in the reading and in the lecture, how they're like the representation is derived and media is derived from U.S. immigration and naturalization laws. Like
First thing that came to my mind was the early propaganda of Chinese when the Chinese first arrived. So
Yeah,
they're perceived
yeah.
as like devils, and
oh,
I,
they were like,
yeah, I think I said it was they were, or I said somewhere it was like they wore, oh yeah, slanted eyes. They wore robes and yeah.
Like the
And
old media was working to get them or portray them in a certain way where we won't like them and we want them to like leave the country.
yeah,
Or they want them.
there was a quote from the reading. It was, I thought, matched or like goes well with this one. It was like a revised traditional, I don't know how to pronounce the word, dichotomies between Eastern and Western definitions of culture expose the constructed nature of the East as an exotic foil to a Western norm. So that kind of ties into what you said earlier, Mai. Oh, and then there was that Korean actor. who that portrayed that Japanese soldier in a World War II movie.
Oh yeah, that too. That's a nice reference.
Yeah, and I guess wait, hold on. Maybe that could tie in. Oh, maybe that would probably go into the next question, but I'll save it for later then.
We go on the last one. What information provided in keywords war struck you as interesting and important? How might the theme of deportation media in Asian America be connected to the large theme of war?
Wait, just saying, or just asking, who is the author of Keywords for War?
I didn't even see that.
Because I just want to make sure I got the right one.
That is a very good question, Mai. I don't have the answer.
Linda Trinval and Scott Wong, and then Kathy Scone-Viles.
I probably read the wrong one then.
It's the one with the like the fixing tool.
It's okay. You guys could just help me with this, and I'll just try to like write things down.
So one of the things one of the information that struck me was important was the American involvement in the Vietnam War. That was something that was important because it left many of the Vietnam countryside destroyed, and then leaving many deaths of Vietnamese, and then leading them into migrating into America or going to different parts of other countries, maybe parts to like other foreign countries like Laos, Cambodia. And I think that really struck me because it's something I haven't really not really seen, but like nothing I would be thinking about, like having a war in like my home country where my parents used to live in, and thinking about a war that happens and stuff, and migrating to a different country that they're not used to. So I thought that was interesting and important to think about.
I also had something similar to that. How the U.S. left they're like responsible for the corruption of some urban infrastructures, and then it left the natives of those countries like in unlivable conditions, which led to them into the U.S. And then in the reading, I think it said how some Americans viewed those refugees as the same enemy they've been fighting previously. And then they also mentioned how Americans viewed the refugees as people who did not fit their vision of who could become American. So it was those same people, like with those ideas, being lawmakers, making those laws, making it harder to fight off the deportation or legally fight deportation.
There was a quote that I think that can kind of tie into what you, Nathan, what you and Joseph said about how war can lead to mass immigration, like coming to this country after having a war in your home country and having to going to different countries, and then just what you said about how how people still view them as like the enemy that they have been fighting. And I think like the first quote from the thing was like, war dominates culture, distorts memory, corrupts language, and affects everything around it. And so like the portrayal of one country, it definitely can be biased, right? Like there's always two sides to a story. So if America, for example, portrayed I'll use, I don't know, like Koreans one way or Vietnamese or Japanese one way, the people in America will probably think that way, and then that's how it distorts memory and corrupts everything, affects everything. Yeah.
mostly in the book, they just reference like small wars that happen. And they explain different explanations about certain ones. Mm.
I think a specific war that stands out is the war on terror because I think terrorism plays a big part in how America sees immigration and refugees too. Because when terrorism scares people, everyone doesn't trust people who don't look American, or yeah, everyone's just like pointing fingers and basing it off of how you look. And if you don't look American, like stereotypically American, and you look like an alien, then like people will start to like try to fight for you to be deported and stuff like that.
I think that's a great point that you brought up because I mean, we've already seen that happen, I think, twice in our country. We had first with the Japanese Americans, and then I'm pretty sure after 9/11, people started pointing fingers at Middle Eastern people.
Mhm.
And then I think that itself leads into like, I don't know the details. I don't know if that really happened with after 9/11, but for
It
the
did.
Japanese, like all the
Okay.
other Asian Americans started trying to like, like, oh, we're not Japanese, we're Korean, or we're Chinese, or we're Vietnamese, to separate themselves.
With the punishment.
Yeah, so I think that was gonna tie it into like, that Korean actor who, because since the Japanese Americans, they had consequences, the other ones benefited. I think because that actor, he was able to portray a Japanese soldier, which he was excited to do, right? Uh, I don't have any examples for after 9/11 with middle or the Muslims. So I think there was talk about like another concentration camp or to, intern them, but that'd just be history repeating itself. I think so. I think it's like, war leads to fear, and then fear, as what Mai said, leads to like
Discrimination.
discrimination against immigrants and the whole immigration thing as a whole. And then media itself can spread that fear very rapidly. It's like
Like, oh, sorry.
no, this is probably it's like
Like I
dominant.
wanted to add on like what you're saying, like how you're summarizing how like that fear can also like affect immigrants and stuff. And I think it's especially immigrants who have like what this whole these readings like point to is that even immigrants, or especially immigrants who have criminal records, are the ones who are in most danger, I think, because when they have criminal records, people are going to say, oh, that's even worse. Like, oh, you're a criminal. That means that you're most likely to like harm your neighbors and harm anyone and stuff like that. Even if people like Andy are just trying to make a living and make a family and just form a life, they're just like, oh, you have a criminal record, you're just bad, or something like that. I think we answered all three questions. Anything else there is to share?
I think like one main thing that I would say about the themes of deportation in media and Asian Americans leading back to wars, I think it's a lot about assumption, making assumption about other ethnicity groups. Like if you target one person, then you target the entire group. And I think that was we talked a lot about that towards about the Japanese bombing Pearl Harbor, where if if they start a war, then it would lead to the other Japanese civilians to like be targeted as well. And people would make assumption about through propaganda or like sending them into internment camps and all that. So I think that's another main thing about war is making assumption about other ethnic groups.
And also what was saying about the war on terror, like 9/11 is a good example on how a war could tie into deportation in media because in the videos that she had us watch, obviously it was 9/11 that had caused the lawmakers to make those laws for like anyone with a criminal background to be at risk of deportation. And then I remember on Twitter for the media section, I think it was on 9/11. Someone brought up a video of like I think it was like Disney Channel, and it was like right after 9/11. They aired it right after 9/11, and it was like a propaganda like be patriotic and stuff like that. Like at a young mind.
Disney had a propaganda.
No, it's
That's
like
funny.
American propaganda. Like you should always be patriotic and stuff like I'm proud to be American.
Oh, okay.
I think we went through all the questions.
Yeah, I'm done with ideas or thoughts. Kind of shared everything.
I don't think we covered the discussed memorable scenes, lines, or details. If you guys want to bring that up for the first.
Okay.
Where? Oh,
I really enjoyed watching Manny with little kids playing baseball. I thought that was very wholesome. Since the rest of the movie or documentary was very depressing.
it was.
Ending.
I like the Halmani film where Ju Hong went back to Korea to visit his grandma, and then he got to finally meet his dad again back in South Korea because he never got the chance to because of
Ooh.
the-
What hurt me the most was when Ju Hong's grandpa died, and I don't think his mom and sister couldn't visit him before he died.
Mhm.
That hurt.
Also got like super emotional when he was around his grandma because I think he knew like the next time he would visit Korea, it was gonna be in a long time, and he knew that she could like, not be there anymore. So it's like that's why that film was sad.
Yeah.
I think all from me, dude, those airport scenes are fucking those airport scenes are really sad.
Yeah.
It's okay to express in those words.
It's so sorry. I hope
It's okay.
Oh, and like Sentence from Home.
yeah, with Lone and his wife, and then there was
When they were like, when his wife had to go back to America because she was only visiting for like a little bit.
yes, that one too.
And like she's even talked about like it's okay, like we'll move the whole family so that we can be together again. And he's just like, no, we gotta like I want my kids to have like the best education they have. Like just let them grow up in America, and everyone's just so sad.
Oh, speaking
Crying.
of kids, when he was watching the home videos in his house in Cabaret, oh my
Oh
god,
yeah, he
Yeah.
was there to experience that. Oh my god.
that was like Interstellar. When Matthew McConaughey is just watching his kids grow up and with like the logs that they left.
Oh my gosh. Stop. I don't want to cry.
Oh man.
I think we're all good.
Yeah.
I think that's the end of the discussion and
Yeah.
tears.
Yeah. The films were like, yeah, the films were pretty sad.
Hard to sit
sad.
through.
Yeah. All right. I'll stop the